Okay, this is the last video now. Well done if you've got this far. It must be a bit boring watching someone do a religious studies exam, but hopefully you're finding it helpful as well, so it's all good. This is the last question now. Anyway, it's the one about Hinduism practices. So let me just find it. Right, there we go. Hindu practices. So it's the final one. Let's just go through it. Then it'll be sorted and you've done the whole exam. So which one of the following is a Hindu festival? Hopefully you're thinking in your head, I know, it's B, Diwali. You learnt about that in year 8, remember? And in drama and RE as well. Give 2 places of Hindu worship. Hopefully you might remember that a Hindu temple is called a mandir, but if you just write Hindu temple, that's fine as well. Even like a shrine at home would do the job just fine, or a shrine anywhere. Or you could have the river Ganges, or mountains, or anything really. They can worship pretty much anywhere, but keep it specific to these ones and then you can't really go wrong. But I don't know, you could probably get marks for anything with that one. It's quite an easy question. Right, the next one, wow, this one's easy as well. Explain 2 contrasting paths towards yoga. And I even tell you, yoga means union with the divine. So what are the 4 ways? Well, there are 4 ways that Hindus try and get union with the divine. We learnt about them as the 4 yogas, and they just want you to explain 2 of them, and they're going to give you 4 marks for that. So pretty easy. So the difficult bit now is choosing which of the 4 to do, because you obviously know them all. I'm going to choose Bhakti Yoga as the first one. Hopefully I'll spell it right. Bhakti Yoga is the showing of devotion to Brahman. I want to get some extra points, so I just want to say what that involves. It involves, because you've got to explain 2, you can't just say what they are. It involves making offerings to Murtis. Remember, Murtis are statues of the deities, so it involves making offerings to Murtis. For example, nice food, like fruit, is put into pots. It's not only that, they also repeat mantras. And what else do they do? And burn incense. I'm going to change that to say repeating mantras and burning incense. Are also elements of this worship. Right, the next one. Karma Yoga is the path of action. This involves helping others. How do they help others? With something called seva, which means selfless service. What else do they do? Or volunteer work to help the poor. That's about all the room I've got for that one. The other 2 yogas obviously were Astanga Yoga, which is the meditation one, where they block out all other distractions and focus on Brahman or the Atman. And the last one, I forgot the other one now. Oh no, it's Jnana Yoga, where they gain knowledge about Brahman through scriptures and things like that. I chose Bhakti and Karma. I'm even going to underline them so the examiner knows which ones I'm doing, and they'll probably just give me 4 marks without even bothering to read all of that. That's what I would do. Right, next question is, explain 2 reasons why the festival of Holi, or Holi, sometimes it's pronounced, is important for Hindus. And you've got to refer to sacred writing or another source of Hindu belief and teaching in your answer. This is another one of those ones where I can't really specifically remember which sacred writing it is in, but I'm gonna blag it and say in one of the holy texts. Can't remember if it's in the Upanishads or one of the Vedas or what, but in one of the holy texts, Holika, who's the sister of a demon king, tries to burn a devotee of Vishnu in a fire. Vishnu's not having any of that. Vishnu instead burns Holika. This is important. Important for Hindus to celebrate. Because it shows that good will win over evil. Excellent. Need to say another thing about why it's important for Hindus as well. The other thing to note about Holi is that it is celebrated in the spring time, so it represents the end of winter. Like most religious festivals, they sort of coincide with the seasons and stuff like that. Got lots of symbolism. It's the end of winter, and a time for new life and new beginnings. I'll just say as well, they celebrate it with a bonfire and by throwing coloured paint. Running out of space, so it's an important time for families. Families to be together, just like Christmas, I suppose. That's more than 2 reasons, but there's 2 main paragraphs of reasons why Holi is important and should get 5 marks. Even though I've been a bit naughty and not really mentioned a specific holy text. I can't remember what text that story is in, but don't worry about it. The examiner probably has forgotten as well, if you're lucky. Right, final question of the mock exam, which is, going on a pilgrimage is the most important act that Hindus will perform in their lifetime. Wow, that's quite a claim. It's the most important thing they will ever do. I'm going to agree with that and say pilgrimages are very important to Hindus, especially ones which involve very sacred places, like the River Ganges. Remember, I showed you that video about where the guy went on a pilgrimage to the River Ganges and sort of saw the different things going on. I'll explain a bit more about that to get some points. So it's really important to perform in a lifetime. Oh yeah, and that's why is that some people, or some Hindus, believe that by bathing in the Ganges at certain times, they can reach moksha. Can't remember whether they'll meet it straight away or just lots quicker, but I'll just say they can reach moksha. So this is the most important goal, or this is the ultimate goal for Hindus. So anything that can help with this is vital to a Hindu. Why else is pilgrimage the most important act that a Hindu can perform in a lifetime? Oh yeah. When on a pilgrimage, can't concentrate on writing. When on a pilgrimage, Hindus are likely to meet with religious authorities like sadhus. These holy men, it's a bit sexist as well, there aren't many, didn't see any women sadhus in that documentary, so they are generally blokes, I think. These holy men perform extreme acts of what do they do? Endurance. I think you can remember some of the things that these people do to get closer to God. For example, I'm not going to use the card pulling genitals example. I'm going to talk about the guy, one sadhu has had his hand raised, or his arm raised, for, I can't remember how long, 40 years I think it was. Something crazy like that. 40 years. By mixing with these people, a Hindu will be inspired and learn that spirituality is more important than the physical. Then I'll round it off by saying something like pilgrimages are the best place to be reminded of this for Hindus. Great, it's quite a big paragraph there explaining why pilgrimage is the most important thing. Pilgrimages are the best place for Hindus to be reminded of this. So, that is why they are so important. Right, now need to now say the opposite side, why pilgrimages are not the most important thing. I'm basically just going to use loads of stuff from the Hindu beliefs bit about the Sanatana Dharma and Varnashrama Dharma. So that's going to be my opposing view. So I'd say some Hindus might think that it is more important to show devotion to God all the time in daily life instead of just one rare journey to a sacred place. I reckon they might say that going to a mandir regularly is better. Why is it better? I've written it now. I've got to finish this sentence. Better because why is it better to go to mandir regularly than on a pilgrimage? Oh yeah, I'll say something like you can show a greater commitment by being loyal to a deity or murti. Got to carry this on. Showing that you are devoted to Brahman in your heart is more important than making one journey a year, or maybe even rarer. They might not even go every year. Why else? Why else is pilgrimage not as important? Oh yeah, because of karma yoga. Helping people every day is more important than milling around at a festival. Helping people all year round is more important, because I'm going to say something like Brahman is in everything. So can be honoured in every act. A Hindu carries out. What else can I say? Varnashrama Dharma. Just wanted to get that into the exam again because it's a really cool word. Varnashrama Dharma is also important, as it's more important to be successful in your area stroke stage of life. Varnashrama Dharma is also important as it's more important what a rubbish sentence, to be successful in your area stroke stage of life than go on a pilgrimage. Right, hardly got any room left now, so I just got to conclude it. In conclusion, so after all that, I don't know what I think. Is pilgrimage the most important thing a Hindu can do? No, not really. I'm going to say something cheesy now. You might not be able to afford an extravagant religious journey, but Brahman knows that it is what is in your heart that matters most. Oh, lovely. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's a good way to end the exam. Right, so I'm going to check again. So just check through this. Diwali, that's definitely right. That's the Hindu festival. 2 places of worship, mandir, shrine, sorted. 2 yogas, bhakti and karma, both explained. That's 4 marks. 2 reasons why Holi is important for Hindus. Got 2 reasons there and a vague reference to a Hindu text. If you can't remember or you don't even know a sacred writing or another source of Hindu belief, like me, just allude to one or just have a go. It's going to either be in the Upanishads, the Vedas, or maybe the Bhagavad Gita. So just write, all three of those and say, in one of these books it says, what it says. Finally, going on a pilgrimage, the most important. Got a big paragraph there why it is really important. Then another big paragraph why it's not so important, with a nifty little cheesy conclusion at the end. So that's going to be. So that's the end of the whole exam. So overall, what have we learnt? I've learnt that doing an exam, a GCSE exam, for the first time in 23 years is quite tricky actually, because your mind works quite quick, but because you have to wait while you write it all down, it's just a bit of a nightmare. So I think what I've learned is that you just got to take your time in the exam. You get plenty of time, an hour and 45 minutes, just to work your way through. And just space yourself out, space your time out. You've got 25 minutes roughly on each question. Just work your way through it and just talk to yourself in your mind while you're doing it, making sure that you're following all the right questions and doing the right thing and picking up all the marks. At the end of the day, an exam is like a game where you've just got to get as many points as you can, and you've got to use the right tactics to try and get the most points possible. And the more points you get, the higher your grade is going to be. It's just simple as that, really. My handwriting's really rubbish. That's another thing that I've been reminded of by doing this. Just try and make sure that the examiner can read what you're writing. Spellings don't really matter that much. Sorry to say to the sort of English department and all the literacy people who are keen on literacy. Obviously in real life it's better to spell things correctly than not. I've probably made a couple of errors by doing this, but as you can see on here, that spelling and grammar is only worth about 3 points out of the whole exam. So it is important in life, but just try and write as clearly as you can and just make sure the examiner can see it. It says here as well that spelling and grammar and punctuation will be assessed only in the 12-mark question in the beliefs section. So, if in the Hindu paper, if you turn to the beliefs one, where is it? Yeah, this one. This is the 3 marks in the whole exam that makes up the spelling and grammar. All the other 48 marks, it doesn't matter how you write. Sounds awful, and it's only in that question, that 12 marker. You can still get 12 marks if you spell every word wrong. It's just that you might not get all 3 spelling and grammar marks. But so the lesson is, just make sure the examiner can read what you're writing. Hopefully you can all read how I've written, and that's it really. Just try your best, do what you can, and never give up. Not until the very end. Even if there's 1 minute left, just look through your paper, try and find another thing to say, use the extra space, and you should, fingers crossed, be successful. So good luck. Thanks for listening to all of these. It can probably be quite boring hearing someone talk about an exam. Maybe if somebody knows how to edit videos and stuff, they could do like an action version with guns, shootouts and sword fights in between each question to make it more exciting. That would be great. But other than that, just try your best, keep revising. Good luck. See you later. Bye.